Hey everybody. So, what is today? I don't even know. It's Wednesday. Um, Today we're going to be doing a little bit of landscape painting. Um, it's been a while since I've done some landscape painting, so we're going to work on that. I'm also trying out this closed captioning situation on the side over here. Um, I know, I'm aware that sometimes it is hard to understand what I'm saying. um, I have been told that most of my life I do my best. Um, my mom says that I'm a marble mouth like my dad. um, but yeah, so we'll see how it goes. Maybe it'll be helpful. It is probably more helpful if you're watching on a TV or something versus if you're on a phone. It's probably still really small. I'm also gonna try to do some longer streams here coming up. So um, that's why we're starting out today with the tape part. I I'm not trying to humble brag, but I know that I do work a little bit quickly. So like if I finish a whole painting in like an hour and a half, that's great for me productively, but it's not great in terms of getting people on Twitch to discover the stream if it's over so quickly. So, trying out a couple new things today. And as always, we're lurker friendly here. But if you have any questions about anything, feel free to ask. I'm happy to answer questions. So, this is just some washi tape, a cute little rainy loon washi tape. So, it's like frogs with knives. They don't all have knives, but some of them have knives. And I know the camera's having a hard time focusing right now. It's just because the page is white, but it'll get better in a second. All right. So I wanted to do probably another desert type of scene. That's really my favorite landscape in general. It's something I like to look at, so I'd like to practice doing some more like desert rock formations today. If I can get this one piece of tape to cooperate. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I just want it to be close enough to the edge all the way around. The subtitle thing was working pretty good earlier. That was before I turned the music on, so hopefully it's still gonna work well even without the music. All right. So I'm thinking our composition is probably gonna be like reds, red, white, and like a blue-gray color. So we're going to be using the Arrtx acrylic markers again today. My new favorite thing to draw with in general. Let's see. So let me go ahead and like get out a light blue, and we're going to use that to sketch. The rock formation that I am drawing. Let me try to like come up a little bit here. It is a rock formation that is apparently on a Hopi Reservation. Let's see. It's like one of those kind of painted looking rock formations. Like the rocks are really interesting colors. So I'm going to be using that as a reference. It's probably not going to be like a 100% one-to-one situation, but it'll get us started on our shapes and everything. So I usually go in and make my sketch in like a lighter color. In this case, we're going to do light blue before we get into the, you know, meat of the drawing and like add in different colors and values and stuff. I might add some red pretty early on here just so the camera will have something to look at because it doesn't seem to like the light blue on white very much right now. But yeah, I do really like rock formations. I find that they're kind of hard to draw though. Maybe because the shapes are kind of unexpected. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like, they're a little bit like randomized, you know, which is good for approximating things, but it is harder to like make kind of exact likenesses of things. But that could also just be me because I don't draw them enough. So maybe if I drew rocks all the time, I'd be like, yeah, of course. It breaks away this way and this angle makes sense and the shadow and what have you. But yeah, you don't get better at it by not drawing it. So that's what we're here to do, to get better at drawing it. And have fun, obviously. All right. Let me get into a little bit of red here. We'll go pink first. Okay. I've never seen really like one of these painted style rock formations in real life. I would love to though. But I also understand like I don't know if this one is, but you know, sometimes I know there was one that I really wanted to see in Albuquerque that I can't think of the name of right now, or near Albuquerque. But during the pandemic, the indigenous people there decided that they no longer wanted, you know, people to come there and like disrupt the environment, which, you know, totally understandable, makes sense. But now I don't think it's, you know, open for people to go look at it anymore. So I don't know if that's the case with this one, but you know, I understand that not all the cool things we're able to go and look at because, you know, either they're special places or because some people ruin things for everybody by being disrespectful, unfortunately. But I was just talking to a friend earlier about, well, something another friend told me. Some videos I watched on YouTube where the lady was talking about, she's a neurologist and she was talking about when it comes to manifesting and um, like exposing yourself to wealth. And I was trying to think about like what that means to me. And for me, I decided that wealth equals travel, like the ability to travel and the ability to go places and see beautiful things. And so I've been trying to do that every morning. I'll go like on Pinterest or, other inspiration websites and just like look through photos of places that I think are really beautiful or places I would want to visit and just kind of, take that in and imagine that as, part of a successful life. So it's kind of nice. I'll do like a little morning meditation kind of thing. Not like a long one, just like some breathing and stuff to reset the. Normally it would be anxiety. I'm not actually as anxious as I have been for a long time, but just to kind of reset the brain a little bit and slow down the breathing and stuff. And then after that, is when I go and look at the wealth exposure type photos I'm talking about. So, like I've been to Japan one time, and of course would like to go again. So there's lots of photos of Japan in there, and and I also like add new stuff to it every day. And there's also lots of photos of New Mexico in there because I visit New Mexico a lot. It's one of my favorite places. And then also another aspirational place I would really like to go, but have not been yet, to Iceland. And Iceland is like, I mean, it's just crazy. Like, I don't even know how to explain how beautiful I think Iceland is. And like, I don't know. Y'all just gotta look it up. um, I really like the, I guess it's like a, volcanic kind of landscape. So there's like these really rich grains and stuff, like rich green grass and plant life and like waterfalls. And then there's like black dirt and black sand. And the contrast is just like, it's so beautiful. I love it. That'll probably be next on our drawing to-do list, I guess, eventually here. I've already kind of deviated from the reference photo in terms of like the order of these rocks and stuff, but I think that is fine. I just kind of want to get the overall colors and shapes and stuff. And it's okay if it doesn't look exactly like the real rock formation. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've watched some videos on YouTube before about drawing rock formations, like drawing landscapes and stuff. And like when you're doing it digitally, it's helpful to use like certain kinds of brushes, like really flat, sharp brushes and stuff are good for drawing rocks. This is a little bit challenging because I really only have one type of brush. So I have to just kind of turn it different ways or like try to make different kinds of mark making and stuff in the midst of these shapes. let's see. I'm trying to decide what kind of bridge color I want to go with. I guess what the heck? We'll just use a really, really light pink. Um, some parts are basically like white, but we're not going to leave anything the white of the paper. And even when something looks white, it's usually not really white. It makes for a much more interesting painting or drawing if you don't use true black and true white. Same goes for graphic design and basically all that stuff. I think this light peach is working okay for what we're trying to accomplish right now. And I'll probably also end up using another kind of acrylic marker that I have that is like a real skinny one to add some more harsh lines and stuff as we keep going. I'm also interested in working on some of these shadow shapes, I think. And for that, I think we're gonna go purple.
Hit me in the Pet Cafe Twitch extension. I love getting snuggles and treats.
Cool. I was wondering if the the caption thing was gonna pick up Xena talking or not, but it didn't, which is totally fine. Because she says her little on-screen thing anyway. I just feel bad about like fully muting her. I don't know. I could, I guess. But I feel guilty about it. Oh, I just realized I don't have this light on. Maybe that'll help a little bit. Oh my gosh. It probably looks a lot brighter. I hope that wasn't like a flashbang. Sorry. I'll try to enunciate a little bit better for everyone's benefit and also the caption generator's benefit. But if I start getting marbly again, I'm sorry. And y'all know if you've watched a couple streams that I really like watching sumo, and there's like a sumo grand tournament on right now. And I watch it on Twitch on the Midnight Sumo channel. And I don't know how Mitty, the streamer, I don't know how he does it. Like, he'll commentate about sumo for like 8 or 9 hours a day. And maybe because I've always been an introvert, but my throat, it's like already starting to not like that I've been talking to y'all. It's only been like 20 minutes. Maybe that's like a skill that you have to build up just like anything else. I don't know. As a infrequent talker in general, I guess it's like a skill that my body never built up. That my throat didn't. I think it is like it's hard to know exactly how much to talk sometimes on stream, but I do think that y'all probably get a little bit more out of hearing me talk or like narrate processes or what have you than me just sitting quietly and not saying anything. That would be the easy way out. So we're getting some texture and stuff in here now. Exciting. It'll eventually, you know, really look like something. Sometimes it takes a while with paintings for it to look like what you're hoping for it to look like. But that's just because you gotta keep building stuff up in layers. Okay, I thought I was gonna sneeze. It feels so close. I don't want to sneeze with the mic on. Okay, I think it went away. One of the things I like about this rock formation that I'm using as a loose reference, not only the colors, of course, because it's like red and white, but I really like that it's like these um, like pillars of rock kind of like jutting up, but then like there's like a really kind of like gravelly looking slope here too, and I like the difference in texture and like how the angles change and stuff. My allergies have been bothering me so bad. Like the last couple of weeks off and on, but like really bad over the weekend and stuff. And I think it's finally better today. I haven't noticed it quite as much. So for anybody curious, the way that I'm making different marks and stuff with this pen is just using a variety of pressure and turning it different ways and stuff like that. And there's kind of a limit to like how many different types of marks it can make since it has like a fixed shape, but can make it do a few things.
Hello, how are you, Theodore underscore 608?
Oh, hi Theodore 681. It's been a little while. How are you doing? We're just working on some landscape painting today. Get another purple. I've got another nice light purple, so we're gonna try that out as well over here. That's a pretty good purple. I like that. It's a little shiny on camera because of my light here, but it's kind of a lavendery color. Oh, good. The caption, I said lavendery and it said lavender. That's good. It's translating, translating what I'm saying. I really like once I get to start layering these colors more, because we can get a lot more shapes and effects that way. Did the person like the dog picture drawing? I think so. I didn't ever actually hear about whether the person that it was a gift for liked it. I think that they probably did. But the person that commissioned it, who also knew the dog that I was painting, she said it made her cry when she saw it. So I think that that's a good sign. I think that she really liked it. So that's good. Hopefully the owner of the dog also really liked it. Mission accomplished. Yeah, exactly. I know, not that I want to make people cry, but you know, it is a nice feeling when you can make something that, like, you know, gives people an emotional reaction, like in a good way. So yeah, I'm glad. I'm happy about that. Yeah, I'll have to do some more pet portrait commissions. They are really fun to do. So I'm gonna start adding in some more color just overall, so we can get past the white page stage. Question about graphite pencils. Watched a realistic drawing of an eye. Painter said that they used a 6B for pupil, and his looked pitch black, and my drawing seems really gray. How is his black and mine gray? What am I missing? Um, well, it might depend a little bit on the brand. I mean, there might be like a slight difference in like how they're measuring the darkness. But also sometimes yours, it might look more gray because it's shiny. Um, that's kind of the tricky part of working with graphite, is that even the really dark pencils, sometimes they can like catch light and look shiny, and it makes them look less black. Um, but there's a type of graphite pencil, I think it's called an ebony pencil, and those are really, really, really dark. Um, that's like, I don't know, I feel like it's like the darkest type of graphite you can get. So if you feel like you want it to be darker, that might help. Um, but yeah, I'm not sure. It could also be it could be like a trick. You know, like if you are making a video or something like that, like either even while it's on stream or even after the stream, you can adjust the contrast and stuff of the video. So they could have also adjusted it to make it look darker in the video or in the photo of the drawing than it was in real life. I bought a charcoal pencil today and want to try it out. Unable to find a black oil pencil. Yeah, the charcoal pencil should be pretty dark, and since charcoal has a different kind of texture, I think because it's like a powdery texture, it doesn't really reflect light in the same way. So it should probably look more black for you when you try it. So I hope it works out for you. I hope it looks how you'd like it to. I hope I get to do some more traveling soon. I sure do like traveling and like seeing new sights and um I love taking pictures of like architecture and like the landscape and stuff like that. And like whenever I went to Japan and I came back and I was showing like a slideshow of photos to my parents, my mom was like, "Oh, why didn't you go to more touristy places? Like where are the statues and the paintings and the monuments and why don't you go to museums and stuff?" And I was like, "Well, number one, there's so much to see and do there. It's kind of hard to pick." But like she just was so annoyed that like most of my pictures were like landscape pictures and buildings and stuff that I thought were cool, or signs, or in a lot of cities in Japan they have like really cool manhole covers. You've probably seen them on social media or something. Sometimes like a whole area or a whole town will have like themed manhole covers. And so I took some pictures of those, and my mom was like, "I can't believe that you took a picture of a manhole cover. How dare you?" So, but I thought it was cool. And it's fun seeing stuff, sometimes that you've seen on social media in real life, But so I don't know. I'm excited to go back and take more pictures of manhole covers, I guess. One day. Hopefully not too long from now. You also are saying you have another obstacle. I used a graphite pencil and wanted to use white on top, but it wasn't possible. The white was sliding and not leaving any marks. Yeah, graphite is kind of like that. Once you get it to like a certain saturation point where like you're not seeing the paper through the graphite anymore, it's really hard to get other stuff to lay on top of it. Um, so in order to get white on top of the graphite, I would probably use like ink or paint, or just trying to leave that space white whenever you're drawing. Like try to you know map out where your lightest values are and maybe leave the paper that color if you can. Um, a gel pen, maybe. It honestly really depends on the gel pen. I've had some you know, frustrations in the past with like different white pens and just like not being able to find a pen that was like opaque enough. Or like sometimes they'll like stop working after you try to um, use them on top of other types of materials. So um, you can try it, but I think if possible, leaving the white of the paper might be your best bet. But also, there's another type of drawing. Um, I don't know if you've tried, but it's called chiaroscuro. Um, Let me see how to spell that, and I'll put it in the chat because it sounds like probably more complicated than it is. But I really like that kind of drawing because basically, like you'll draw on like a gray or a toned piece of paper, and then you use white and black charcoal to like make all the other values.
Hello, how are you, Mad
And
Cat?
I think it looks really nice. You're finished with your questions. um, yeah, I don't mind you asking questions though. That's okay. Did the music stop? Or maybe not. It's just like that was kind of weird. There we go. Um, Maybe because I was Googling stuff, it stopped for some reason. Um, but yeah, I think Carol's Carol drawings are really cool. Um, and they're like another way to learn how to build up value because you have to think about it a little bit differently when you're working on it. whenever I was taking drawing classes in school. Um, like in college, that was like one of my favorite drawing techniques. It can be really fun once you get used to it. I think I might go ahead and add some color for our sky here so we can get that white out of the way. But yeah, so would like to go to Japan again, would like to go to Iceland. I don't know. I mean, I guess there's places in the US that I haven't been to yet, like scenic places that would be nice to go. Oh man, I can just tell I went under the tape right there, but that's okay. Um, I've been to the Grand Canyon once, but I was like 16, and we had just figured out that I needed glasses. And so I had gone to the optometrist and I had just gotten glasses, but it turned out they were the wrong prescription and they weren't strong enough. So I went to the Grand Canyon and I could see slightly better than if I had no glasses on at all, but I basically didn't really get to see it. Not well. So it's been quite a long time since then, and that would be maybe something fun to go and see, especially since I like, desert landscapes. And we also went to Sedona, Arizona on that trip, which is really beautiful. Some really amazing red and orange rock landscape there. Red dirt. I just really like red dirt, I think. It's just so pretty, I guess, like with the green of plants and then like the blue sky. It just makes for like a really colorful landscape. All right, that blue looks a little splotchy right now, but we'll fix it in a little bit. At least it's not all white anymore. Oh, you're in Japan Sea, but because of COVID was unable to go to land. Oh my gosh. Also for China, Vietnam, Indonesia, Singapore, and Thailand, I was very disappointed. Oh wow. Were you on like a cruise ship or something like that? Yeah, that's too bad. Wow. I heard about people on trips like that got like stuck or like had to quarantine and in the ships and stuff before they were able to come back. That's crazy. Yeah, Thailand and Vietnam. Well, I guess all those countries are really beautiful too, right? Really beautiful landscapes. Well, I hope you get to try it again sometime if you want to. And hopefully it goes better. Yeah, I think the next time I go to Japan, I'd like to go like spend some more time in like rural areas and stuff like that. Spend more time taking in some natural scenery. I'd really like to stay somewhere like closer to the bottom of Mount Fuji to be able to see Fuji better. I went to Sendai the last time that we were there for part of it, for part of the trip, and that was great. I really liked the feel of Sendai. It's like a decent sized, like pretty big city. Obviously not like Tokyo or something like that, but it kind of had like a big town and small town type of feeling to it. It was like snowing and really beautiful. Seaman. I have seen Singapore famous hotel. Oh, with a boat on top, but that's it. It was visible from sea. Oh, wow. That's cool. I don't actually think I've heard about that before. Famous hotel with a boat on top. Wow. I'll have to um, check that out. Yeah, there's just so many beautiful places in the world. Like, I just want to see more things, you know, learn all the languages and see all the things. That would be great. Marina Bay Sands. Oh, wow. That's really cool. That's crazy that you could see it also so close and yet so far. Man, that must have been really frustrating. I'm sorry. All right, I think this rock on our far left here is starting to do something. It's starting to look more like a rock than it did when we started, and there was nothing on the paper. All right, let's see. This particular part of the rock face has a lot of shadow on it. I'm not trying to make a one-to-one, but I'd like to kind of keep to the same values and stuff if I can. And then it has this other little face that's kind of, it must be facing the sun because it's like pretty much all white looking. And I feel like I had just started learning Japanese sort of um, before going to Japan. Like I had been learning it on Duolingo for a while, and then like I started taking um, like college level classes for it, and I had been taking it for about a year before we went, and I think that that was enough um, to like be able to say most things that I needed to be able to say. um, but I would really like to, you know, try again after, you know, I took an additional year of class since then. So I think that, you know, I'm a lot better at reading it and stuff like that now. You know, like it's a lot easier. So it'd be nice to see how it would feel another time around. There was like so much more kanji on the signs and stuff than I was expecting. Like mostly like signs of businesses. So like there's lots of signs that are like in English or in hiragana or katakana, which are the you know, main writing systems that you learn how to write. But then like a lot of businesses and stuff would have signs that were in kanji, which you learn at like a much slower pace, you know, and they're much more complicated characters to learn. So I'd probably really practice my kanji and stuff before going again. And I feel like they're the easiest ones to forget also, for sure. Since I had to take a break this past semester, like it feels so frustrating. Like I'll be watching something and I'll see a kanji and I'm like, I know for sure that at one point I knew what that meant. But right now I cannot remember to save my life. It was in New York. Oh, Newark Port. I miss guys when they went to New York City. I was really envied that back then. Yeah. Yeah, New York City is a neat place. I got to go once, like, it's been a while. I'm trying to think. Probably like 10 years ago or something. And it was neat. I liked seeing a lot of art and stuff like that. That was kind of the reason I was there, was to
Smiling face with hearts emoji.
see art, like go to galleries and museums and stuff like that. And I knew that there would be like a lot of walking, but I don't think that I was prepared for how much walking that it really was. I was like coming back from having an ankle injury, and I was not in a good way. I think at one part of the trip, like I was in so much pain that I just like couldn't go out that day, and the rest of the people that were on the trip with me just had to leave me at the hotel and just, go out without me. So that kind of sucked, but it was neat. There's like so much stuff to see there too, it's like hard to pick, everything that you want to go and see, especially if you're only there for like a little while. When I went, I was really excited to go and hopefully see some Keith Haring artwork, who's been one of my favorite artists for a really long time. And I was with like a tour of other grad students, and so I couldn't really pick where we went. But then there was one day where we just kind of stumbled into this random gallery, and they literally just had Keith Haring screen prints on display, like a bunch of them. And I was like, oh my God. I was so excited. I literally started crying, which sounds kind of ridiculous, but when there's something you really, really like and you've always wanted to see it, and then you finally see it, it can be a really emotional experience, You've been in Brazil, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Guatemala, Jamaica, Cuba, Panama, Russia, France, UK, oh my gosh, Greece, Turkey, and a few more. You've been just about everywhere. Well, that's pretty cool. I'm guessing you must like to travel then. That's really neat. That is a lot of places. I'm happy for you, and I don't want to say envious because it sounds bad, but you know what I mean. That's really cool. Wow, maybe one day I can say that I went to that many different countries. That's cool. I think I've been to Canada. I'm not actually 100% sure even if I've been to Canada because it was like when I was really little, and I'm pretty sure that I remember when we lived in Washington that we like went across the border into Canada for like one night or something. I don't even remember why, but that's it. I don't even know if that counts because it was so long ago and I'm not sure. Nothing really happened. Never through. Oh, never though we'll be there, but yeah, I feel like traveling is a nice way to spend time, you know, a good way to like use your savings or whatever, seeing new things and learning new stuff, broadening your horizons. Hmm, nice memory. I really wanted to add Asia to the list, but yeah, well, I hope that you'll get the chance to do that again in the future. I'm sure you will. Hopefully, there will be another opportunity for you in the not too distant future. Yeah, I mean, I've been saying I'd like to go to Japan again, but there's definitely lots of other countries in Asia I'd also like to go to. There's just the world is so big, honestly. There's just so much stuff to see. And Japan is like one of those. I saw a reel like that the other day that was like, when you tell your family that you're going to Japan again. Like literally the other day, one of my family members was like, I was telling them that I wanted to go again, and they're like, there's other countries, right? And I'm like, yeah, I know, but I feel like I haven't, gotten my fill yet, so I'm gonna keep going. I want to go at least one more time, maybe before going somewhere else. Oh, you're finished with sailing? Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I could ever go on a cruise. It feels like a little, or sail. It feels kind of scary to me. I don't know why. Maybe because the ocean is big and mysterious. It feels like maybe I'm thinking about it too much, but it feels like you're really vulnerable, But I guess you're pretty vulnerable flying in a plane too. Hmm. Okay. Trying to see. Oh, okay. This is like a shadow right here. And blend it out a little bit. I'm gonna try to blend a few different colors together here to get this a bit darker. Not too dark, not quite as dark as it is right now. But with these markers, kind of you gotta like go darker than you want to like bring it back up to a lighter value. Not really. A ship hull is, oh, 4 human fingers thick. That is pretty thick. It's hard for waves to bend that. That makes sense. I guess, like, I don't know. In those movies when there's storms and stuff and the waves are so big and they're like just crazy, like bigger than the ship. But I can see you're pretty safe from like sea monsters and stuff, I guess, if the hull is that thick. Not too bad.
Greetings, Earthlings. I'm Xena, your friendly neighborhood alien, who wants to share some tasty treats with me.
Alright, let me try to blend this part with some blue. Okay. Alright. Part of me is wanting to like break out the other pencils and like get into the texture more, but I don't want to do that too soon, so I'll wait a little bit longer for that. It's not for everybody though. On container ship, containers were moving slightly and produce like a squeaking noise all night long every night. Yeah, that does sound pretty disruptive. Maybe makes it kind of hard to sleep well. Yeah, I don't know. I also I don't know if maybe you can like get used to it or something, but I didn't think that I would be the type of person to like be seasick, but like when I was in New York, I forget what they call it, but we had to get on like this ferry thing to get across somewhere. I honestly don't remember what it was or why we were doing that, but um or maybe it's just like how the water was right there, but it was rough. It was so rough. And like I felt ill, like for real. I was like, get me off of this thing right now. And like I made it, to land and stuff, but man, it was crazy. I was like, I am not getting back on to go back. I was like, please no. um, so I don't know if that means that it would bother me on a regular ship too, or if it was just because that was so rough, or I don't know. It made me feel worried though about how well I would do. On a tanker, cargo can be toxic. Oh my gosh. One drop, if not treated, can develop cancer or death depending on the dosage. That sounds really scary. That's like a whole different fear to have on the ship. Not let alone the ocean or anything like that, but like toxic stuff. Oh my gosh. Wow. Sounds hazardous in general, and also like, transporting that across the ocean. Like if something, happens and it ends up in the ocean, that sounds like bad news. Yeah, the traveling part sounds fun, but that does sound pretty spooky. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe one day I'll try to get on a boat again. I should have there was a point for a little while where my dad had a like like a fishing boat type thing, like a I don't know what they're called. I don't really know very much about boats, but like he liked bass fishing. Um and he had it for like a couple years, and then when he got really sick, he had to get rid of it. But I regret not going out with him on that, for obvious reasons, because I can't now because he's gone. But also like, um, yeah, I didn't find out if if I'm like legitimately if I get seasick or it was just that New York Channel thing or whatever. But yeah, should have tested it out, but I never went because I was like, no, I don't feel like, being seasick today or something. So maybe I'll try it again sometime. Start small, like figure out what the different levels of attempting to be on a ship are. What's the least motion sick opportunity, and then try to escalate from there if I'm okay. Hazardous cargo. Oh, there were a ton of restrictions for the cargo, like for safety. Well, that sounds good. I hope so. Yeah. Hmm. Was the ship also like delivering packages or like different kinds of goods in the container, or was it mostly
Earthlings. Xena here. Ready for some
chemicals and
dessert?
stuff like
Who
that?
wants treats? Lollipop emoji. Cookie emoji. Ooh, and don't forget the fizzy drinks. Cup emoji.
I've seen radioactive containers, military containers with secret equipment. Oh my gosh. Wow. Hmm. Yeah, it's kind of amazing. Like, I guess if you're not really on ships much, or especially like not in that kind of line of work, you don't really think about ships very much and all the all the stuff that does go back and forth on ships. Like I was surprised even just like a couple years ago before the tariffs got really bad. I ordered some stuff for my car from China. Um, and I don't know why, but I didn't have any conception that it was gonna come over on a ship. I was like, I never really thought about it. And then in the tracking notification, it was like, this and this port and stuff like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's literally coming over on a boat. It's just a job, different people, good ones, bad ones. Yeah, I guess, every job is like that to a degree, right? You've got good people and bad people that you work with or that are in the industry, and good and bad things about your job itself, things you like about it. Mm, I think like I don't know, this is probably cheesy to say, but I was thinking about it just the other day again that like um has I saw somebody having some road rage, and like I used to get kind of angry sometimes when I drove and like people were acting ridiculous or cutting me off or whatever. But then when I literally started thinking about like, again, I know this is kind of cheesy, but like about how you don't know what anybody else is going through um on that given day. Like you don't know what that person was going through, before they cut you off. Like maybe they were scared or anxious, or they're trying to get to work, or they're trying to take their sick family member somewhere. Like you have no idea. I started getting a lot less upset about stuff like that. It actually helped me a lot. Um, and I try to think that anytime I feel like I might be getting angry about something like that. But I kind of feel like it's similar with like stuff like that, like different job industries and things like that. Like you have no idea if you're not in that situation, like what other people's jobs are like, or like the fun parts or the hazards or like the different things that they deal with. It's interesting. I don't know, that probably sounds like I went off on a tangent, but in my head the connections made sense to me. I'm surprised in the US this is normal behavior. um what do you mean, like the road rage, or which part do you think is normal behavior? And so I can respond, right? I think our rocks are looking more rock-like. Oh, rage on the road. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people do get road rage pretty bad. Not everybody, I guess, but a lot of people do. Um, you know, I feel like everybody feels, okay, I'm generalizing, but I feel like a lot of people feel like whatever they have to do, wherever they're going, is like the most important thing. And that whatever you have going on is not as important. And so it's okay to like, you know, cut whoever off and do whatever you want. Which I obviously don't like agree with. And sometimes it's just hard to stay relaxed, when you're um, have to commute really far for your job or something like that, and or you don't like your job, you're having a bad day, and then somebody cuts you off. It's kind of like the last straw. um, but like my dad used to get some road rage, and I didn't. It wasn't my favorite thing. He'd get real upset and like start cursing and stuff, and like if you engaged with it, it would just like amp him up even more. Like so instead of like helping him to feel vindicated in his rage, I just usually would just be quiet and like wait for it to go away so that he would just, kind of settle down and not realize it, or and realize it was not such a big deal after all, that everything was okay. You know, we were safe, other people were safe. That's that's all that we need really in the end. I get the feeling like on this drawing you starting to draw this prison statues on the mountain. No, I'm not drawing that mountain. Mount Rushmore? Yeah, I don't think I'd want to draw that one probably, but I don't think I've ever seen Mount Rushmore in real life. I don't think it's really on my list of stuff I want to see, but um, I guess in terms of like if you're thinking about it like as like an art piece, like as a sculpture, that's pretty cool. Um, it's quite a feat to carve some giant faces into the side of a mountain or whatever. But yeah, the I guess yeah, they're probably mountains, right? That I'm drawing. I think these are, I want to say in Nevada or something, maybe. Um, it said they're on a, I believe it said that they're on a Hopi Native American reservation. So I'm not 100%, but I feel like Nevada or in the Southwest US. Yeah, the US is enormous and there's lots of stuff to see. I don't know if life will be enough. I know it does feel like that sometimes, like when I think about how big, the US is and the world is and like all the things that there are to see. Man, I feel like you'd have to full-time travel your whole life to see everything, but I guess maybe at a certain point you just have to be satisfied with the stuff that you do get to see, or like, pick and choose the ones that you want to see the most, and maybe you'll get to the other stuff in the next life. But yeah, I feel like that too a little bit when I'm thinking about travel and like trying to manifest all the places that I wanna go to. I'm like, man, but okay, so I pick this one first, and then some other time maybe I'll go here, and then some other time maybe I'll go here, um, and all the time in between and stuff. It adds up. You just need a house on wheels and a dog, and you'll be ready to go. Yeah, I have an aunt and uncle that they're not doing it now, but for a little while they were like into RVing, and that did seem kind of neat. They would just
You can pet and play with different pet
like when they
animals in
retired,
this
they
game.
drove around
It's
and
so fun. Come visit.
to different places in the U.S. and would like just stay at like whatever campgrounds allowed RVs. And I think they went and saw the redwood forest, which they were really excited about. And um, I don't actually know where all they've been, but they traveled around a lot for like a couple years. And yeah, probably doing something a little bit more low profile than that would be less expensive. Like, you know, that sounds fun, but I'm sure that well, I'm sure an RV in general is kind of expensive, and then like the gas for it and all that kind of stuff will be a lot. But yeah, maybe if it's just a house house on wheels, like a van or something. Man, that's a whole other discussion that I shouldn't get into about the. I mean, I guess it's cool. Like, good for them, the ones that are being safe. But like, the people that have become like influencers that do that, like just travel around and um make content about the places that they go, that like live out of their car and stuff. I forget what they call that. It seems fun, but I don't know. Like road trips are kind of fun, but there's like a certain point where it gets to be like too much, and you just kind of want to go home. So I wonder how long that really stays fun for, or maybe you have to be a certain type of person to enjoy that all the time and not get, kind of burnt out. All right, let's see. Um, I guess I should get into some more of the red areas up top here. It's kind of like some of the most fun parts of this drawing are the red tops of this like I don't know. I don't know how big it is, so I don't know if I'm supposed to call it a mountain, but I guess we could call it a mountain just because. I'll just go ahead and add some red here and I'll make some additional shapes and stuff to make sure it looks right in a little bit. I think I mentioned it on one of my other streams. I should really watch it again, so maybe I'll stop mentioning it, but um I used to watch this movie a lot with my mom that I always think about every time I am wondering if something is a mountain or not. um but it's called The Englishman That Went Up a Hill and Came Down a Mountain. It's like a movie with Hugh Grant and it takes place in Wales. Wales is another place. I forgot Wales when I was talking earlier. I'd really love to go to Wales. This kind of person should not be, this kind of trip should not be for one person. Dog companion is perfect loyal friend. The men are not so reliable. Joking. Yeah. I forgot what I was gonna say. That's okay. Yeah, I wonder. I guess that's why I like memoirs and stuff like that, like books like that, is because I always like learning about other people's lives and stuff, and you know, like I know what my life is like, but I like to learn about, you know, what's it like to be somebody else, you know, walk in their shoes and like what's their everyday like and how do they think about things, and I really enjoy stuff like that. Hmm. I feel like I lost my place on these rocks here. Okay. I think we've got a pretty dark shadow right here. Mm, also pretty dark, like crevice in between these two. Hmm. Okay. Um, so I'm not trying to make this totally exact, but I feel like I'm not gonna learn from it if I don't make an attempt at mimicking the rock formations and stuff that are there, so I can learn more about how to draw some rocks. I like to read the autobiography books of famous people. Um, Sometimes. I've read some. Um, like, I'm trying to think of ones I've read. Like a couple years ago, I read the one about Matthew McConaughey. Um, and I read like Matthew Perry's and uh oh, what is her name? Leslie Jones, the comedian, Jackie Chan, um, stuff like that. But I also like reading it even if they're not like a celebrity famous person, or maybe if they're um like an activist or something, or um, those can be really, really interesting. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, they don't have to be famous. Like, I can't think of their names right now, but I have read some that, were also by people that are not famous, but maybe they were just like going through something, you know, um, like some kind of life change or something like that. Like those can be interesting. I'm not good at remembering the names of stuff in general, like the names of movies or bands or even celebrities and stuff. um, so I'm having a hard time recalling specific books and memoirs and stuff. But um, yeah, I liked the Matthew Perry one. It was like more difficult to read than I was expecting. Like I knew that he struggled with drugs and stuff, but yeah, it was pretty harrowing. Especially like at the beginning where he's talking about all his trips to the hospital and stuff like that, and it's pretty intense. Yeah, yeah, very sad story and sad end. When I was little, I used to watch Friends all the time with my mom. Um, and Chandler was one of my favorite, characters, I guess, on the show. So, um, you know, yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be so intense as it was. It was pretty rough. He was going through a lot of stuff. You know. Oh, and I did read the Britney Spears one. And that one also I wasn't like 100% sure like what I was going to be getting myself into because I've never really been a Britney Spears fan exactly. I didn't dislike her, but I just wasn't like a big fan. But I did want to hear about all that stuff that she was going through with her family and her dad and stuff. Um, so that was pretty interesting. And I never liked Justin Timberlake very much, but definitely really don't like him after reading reading that book. He's not the best dude. I don't know if that's controversial. I don't think so, but I don't know. I'm pretty like I don't know. Celebrities are just people, right? But if I'm pretty like I bring the hammer down if there's like a celebrity or something that I like and I hear that they did something really bad. I'm like, well, I am no longer interested. I'm not gonna, consume any more of your media or anything like that. Like, I'm good. So sometimes that's not fun. you know, when you have to stop watching shows or whatever that you really like, but that's just how I feel about it. I'd rather at least try to support people that, seem like they're good people, but you never really know about anybody, what they're really like, so. Just doing our best. Um, Also, oh yeah, Linkin Park singer Chester. Um, yeah, I was a big Linkin Park fan whenever I was a kid, like growing up. That was like my go-to. Have a lot of memories of, having a various Linkin Park CDs in my like little CD player Walkman. Um, yeah, I was really heartbroken about Chester passing away. That was really sad, and he had a really some really rough stuff happen to him as well. And I never knew about any of that stuff, like when I was younger. But then, you hear he died, and then you learn about all that stuff, and you're like, oh, okay. So like some of the, like lyrics and things like that, the meaning kind of changes once you find out about that stuff. They take on a new light when you find out the kind of pain that people are in. It's not just about making a nice song, you know. Sometimes people are really going through something terrible.
Oh, need more snacks and hugs. Any
Unfortunately, new
directions?
generation does not know what a Walkman
This
is.
one? Gimme, gimme.
Yeah, I think that they're going to be making a comeback though. I really think so. With the comeback of vinyl, um, and some other stuff, and I think that that's been on trend now for a while. Is like they're calling it the return to the analog. Like people are tired of not really owning things anymore and having to pay subscriptions for everything, and people want to go back to just having CDs and vinyl and um, DVDs. So I don't know. Maybe we'll get some Walkman out of it. Vinyls are considered audiophile stuff. Yeah, I just recently started getting into that just a little bit. Um, I don't really know a lot about it, so nobody asked me any questions about vinyl. I have no idea, but um, you know, I got a vinyl as a gift for Christmas of the Cowboy Bebop soundtrack, and so then ended up getting a record player, and so we could listen to it, of course. And then, you know, my dad had given me this like really old um, sound system. He was always really interested in like setting up that kind of stuff. And so we ended up hooking up the vinyl player, record player, sorry, to that, so we could listen to it, and it's been nice. I like it. I do like the snap crackle pop sounds that they make, even though it's probably better when they're not making that sound too much because they're dirty or whatever. But um, it is nice. It does feel like, when you're listening to a cassette tape or something back in the day, and you couldn't like I guess you could fast forward, but like in order to listen to something again, you had to just keep rewinding it and playing it over again. It's kind of a similar vibe because you've got to like just put the needle on again to listen to it again. Yeah, just another new thing trying out in 2026. listening to records. um, and I think my mom probably has some, but when I asked her about them, she was like, I don't know, they probably don't even work. And I was like, well, I'll be the judge of that. um, so I'm gonna see in the next month or two if I can find some of her old records and see if they're in good enough shape to listen to or not. But yeah, and then my partner got like a vinyl record cleaning kit and all that kind of stuff, and like a special brush to dust it off, and comes with a lot more accessories than I thought it was going to. the the record hobby. All right, let's see. We've got. Oh, okay. Kind of lost where I was on my reference. Okay, I found it. I think that's also the thing about stuff like this is I get a little confused when I'm looking at it, especially if I am just kind of trying to freestyle a little bit. um, but like if you freestyle too much, then you're kind of missing out on the point of you know, doing the study to begin with, and like learning from observation. So don't want to totally lose track of where I am here. So let me figure that out a little bit. Got some interesting shapes on this rock here, so we don't want to miss out on those. What do I listen to? Do I recommend something? As far as the vinyl, or I'm trying to think, how many vinyl do we have? I think we only have like 4 right now, which is not too much. But the one that I got for Christmas was the Cowboy Bebop soundtrack. And that one's pretty good. And it has like 4 records in it. So it's pretty long. Um, you know, got a lot of content there. Like you can listen to it for a pretty good while. And there's a couple really recognizable songs on there, like the opening theme song, of course, and then a song that's like at the very beginning of the Cowboy Bebop movie. That's also one of my favorite songs. So most of it is like pretty jazzy, because that's the Cowboy Bebop vibe. But yeah, it was pretty interesting. I like it. And then I got another one at like a record store here. I'm trying to think of what it was called. The album is called Go. Um, and it's like by like this 5-man group. But they don't have like a name for the group. It's just like these 5 guys, and all their names are on the album. Let me see if I can figure out what that is real quick, because now I want to remember for my own sanity. Um, hmm I think it came out in the 70s. Okay. I found like the album cover. Can we just Google please? um, Full vinyl rip on YouTube. Come on. Let me see if I can like open the video real quick without okay. Uh Stomu Yamashita and Steve Winwood and Michael Shreve. Yeah, that's one of the other ones that I got like just at a store here. And that one's pretty interesting too. I think it's 1976. So it is kind of I don't know. I'm trying to think of a word. You know how stuff was in the 70s, like a little bit experimental or something. I can't think of the right word I want to use, but I love classical, trying some jazz, old rock, good music in general. Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing if some of my mom's vinyls work because I'm sure that she has like a lot of stuff from like the 60s and 70s probably, maybe the 80s. So I'm really interested to see what all it is. There's probably some Beatles stuff in there because my dad really liked the Beatles, but I'm not real good at remembering like the band names in general and then also like you know, artists from that are on the oldies channel, even though stuff from when I was growing up is also now on the oldies channel. It's very disconcerting the first time I heard that. But I remember like pretty distinctly like one of the times I was taking my dad to the hospital or something and we had the radio on and it was on the oldies channel and they were playing like you know something from the early 60s and then right after that they played like what was it? It was like a song by Train. It wasn't Drops of Jupiter, but it was another one. So like 90s alternative rock and I was like, what? Why is this on the same channel? What do you mean? How dare they? I think what color I want to use right here to get this shadow going. I guess we'll use this one for now and then I'll kind of go back and forth with the blue. Try not to wiggle my camera too much, but it is wiggling a little bit. Sorry about that. Depeche Mode, INXS. I like singers with really deep voices. Yeah, I think I do too. I'm trying to think of an example, but I know what you mean. I probably listen to more male singers than female singers, kind of for that reason. It just is like I don't know, more pleasing to my ears, I guess. I just like it a little bit more, like the lower tones and stuff. I do also like when people have kind of like unusual voices. Like I haven't listened to her in a long time, but I used to um really like Macy Gray. She was really having a moment there, like I don't know, in the early 2000s, but you don't really hear about her much now. But her voice is pretty unique sounding.
No, I'm happy. Just need more treats. Nom nom nom. What's your favorite snack, friend?
Yeah, I mean, um, you don't have to be to like male singers for sure. It's all right. Okay. I like adding this darker red in with the lighter reds, and it really starts to um make things pop here. Mm, okay. I think making some progress here. I think it's starting to look more like how I want it to as we keep going for sure. I wasn't super worried this time, but sometimes I get worried, which is normal when I'm working on something and I'm like, I'm never gonna get it to the place where it's supposed to be, to where it looks like what it's supposed to look like. But we're getting there. Um, have you heard of this guy? I'll probably check it out off of the stream. Is it another singer? If I like Lord of the Rings, I'll appreciate it. Oh, is it kind of um what is the word for it? Like it feels kind of medieval fantasy. I can't think of a better way to describe that. Like or like Celtic kind of. Oh, I've got like a little interesting rock right here that I can include. It's kind of like a little rock formation out on its own. All right. You're not a passionate critic or a harsh critic. Well, that's good. I mostly am just critiquing myself probably more than anybody else would be critiquing me. I'm trying to be easier on myself and just enjoy the process. Okay. Got a lot of pink on these ones in the back here, so I'm gonna start moving some more pink down. And I think I'm gonna reintegrate this part into this bit of the mountain. Okay. I think I'll go ahead and, oh, sorry. Also start adding in some more of this peach on the white parts that we've got left. Yeah, I think I just came across this photo like, I don't know, maybe like yesterday or so, whenever I was doing my wealth exposure meditation stuff like I was talking about earlier. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, yeah, I want to draw that. Absolutely, I want to draw that. I have some more photos like from my trip to Japan and stuff that I'd like to draw, but it's kind of hard choosing. And then like for some reason that feels harder, I guess because like I saw the real thing, and so it's like, well, the real thing is going to be better than whatever my drawing is, and like the photo I took is already nice. So what is so what is the point? So I guess like what I'm trying to say is this feels more fun mentally because I've never been here and I don't have anything to compare it to. So just my impression of it, you know. So it's like feels more free, I guess, to work on it. But again, that's probably just another symptom of me being harsh on myself. Might as well just do it. Okay, thanks for hanging out, Theodore. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thanks for visiting and chatting. So it kind of looks like we have like some. They look like little rocks, but I wonder if they're actually really big. um, don't have like a sense of scale in this photo, so they could be little rocks, or this could be like some shapes on the side of a mountain. I don't know. Some boulders. All right. There we go. Okay. All right, not yet with the white. Let's go a little bit more with the blue. I kind of want to work back into this and get it to brighten up a little bit. I still want some of these sweeping lines and stuff, but I don't want them to be so so linear, I guess. I want them to, you know, be more of some implied shapes and less like lines. This song also sounds kind of familiar. All right. Let me move this a little bit to the side so the subtitles aren't covering it as much. I hope that oh, they were doing really good earlier, so I hope they haven't been super totally wrong today. Just now they were pretty wrong. But maybe I was speaking too softly. But I hope they've been helpful for folks that like to have subtitles on. I have gotten to that point myself where I much prefer to have the subtitles on, even if I can hear things. I don't know why. I just like it, I guess. Or on the off chance that you don't hear something right or something, then you've got a reference, but sometimes it's harder to watch stuff with subtitles on, like for example, if you're watching like a dubbed anime or something and the subtitles are like just way different than like what the dubbing actors are actually saying, that can be like, I don't know, frustrating. And I've wondered if that's because like the dub is, or like the subtitles are based off of what they were originally saying in Japanese or something and not what the dub actor is saying. So I'm not sure, but it's like really distracting whenever that stuff is super different, I feel like. But it is fun then, like, after starting to learn Japanese and stuff and getting better at it, like, and watching like the Japanese original and then having like the English translation subtitles or something underneath and being like, oh, that's not exactly what they said, you know, or that's kind of an approximation of what they said, or, you know, or, oh, maybe they're translating it this way because it makes more sense to an American audience, or, you know, just different things like that.
Greetings, Earthlings. I'm Xena, your friendly neighborhood alien. Let's have a snacktacular time.
Xena is back. She's awake. She wants treats. She wants snacks, as usual. Alright, I didn't really draw in, this rock has like a cool crack kind of thing going down it, so let's get that added in. Yeah, okay. I'll use a little bit of purple. I don't want to go too dark with it, because the crack is pretty subtle. So we'll probably add a little bit of purple like that, and then we'll add some shadow shapes here, and then I'll come in with some darker reds and stuff. I really like laying on thick marks of these markers. It's so satisfying. I was talking a little bit about going to Sedona, Arizona earlier, and I was just a teenager then, but it was really pretty, and we went on this thing called a pink Jeep tour, which is exactly what it sounds like. Um, we loaded up into like a pink Jeep Wrangler, and they like four-wheel drove us all around in the desert out there. It was pretty neat. Um, I like Jeeps and stuff. I've never had a Wrangler, and I've had friends that like will go mudding and do that kind of stuff. Um, but I've never gotten to do any of that sort of stuff myself, so it was pretty fun. You're feeling like the car's about to tip over when you're going over some big rocks. It was a neat experience. And they've got so many like neat rock formations out there where it's like, these, oh, I'm so sorry. Keep bumping it. Like big rock formations and then like little tiny, I mean they're not tiny, they're probably huge boulders, but like from your perspective, it looks like these other smaller rocks like balancing on top. It's really really cool. So I'm glad it looks like we are accomplishing our goal of having a bit of a longer stream today. So I'm glad for that. I wasn't sure exactly how long this drawing was going to take me, but it's nice to go a little slower with stuff. And I'm not trying to humble brag, but usually I work pretty quickly. Um, so it's nice to slow down a little bit and just kind of enjoy the experience here of streaming with y'all. And eventually the experience of it ending up on YouTube. All right. Okay. And then we will get a little bit of blue on this part. Oh, my little dog just woke up. He's probably starting to get excited for, oh no, it's not even close to his dinner time, so hopefully he's not getting excited about dinner already. Okay. Mm, well, that's all right. I think my other device I had over here that I was using to track some metrics died, but that's okay. All right, let me get out another ping. These pinks look nice together. All right, I think I do need to probably add like maybe a little bit of pink down here in some of the other areas, the lower areas of the drawing. Well, I'm excited to watch sumo again tonight. That'll be fun. I can never stay up to watch like the whole broadcast all the way through, like from the lowest division to the highest division. So I always have to watch the replay also like the next day. So I always feel really amped up like when the live broadcast starts. I'm like, yeah, but then I'm like, oh man, I won't get to watch like the Division 1 matches basically until the next day. And then I'm still excited, but I do lose like a little bit of steam. All right. It's been a pretty interesting tournament so far this time. It's only the second one I've gotten to watch. The first one I watched was like, I guess whatever the last one was in November, maybe. And this one's been pretty chaotic. So fun to watch. I don't know if it's fun for the people in the tournament, you know, lots of unexpected changes and stuff. Aw. My little dog just came over and he was like on my feet, which is kind of unusual. He doesn't usually just like sit on my feet. All right. So some things are definitely happening. Okay. Let me add just a little bit of something here to the side of this rock. And then I'm gonna go in with probably some purple to make it look like it's a little bit more in shadow on this side. Okay. All right, let me get actually a little bit more darkness on that part. And then I'll see about blending it out just a little bit. Probably shouldn't actually go too deep into the shadow because then it's gonna defeat the purpose of it being a shadow. All right. I feel like we're getting pretty close to accomplishing our goal here. So that's good. Let me see if I can get like a little bit more horizontal texture going on these. Because I feel like that's an important feature of this upper part is the very horizontal, like the strata of the formation, the rock formation. So I'm gonna go all in here with some blue in this section and then dial it back a little bit more. Okay. Oh, that's interesting how I had the red right there. I didn't remember doing that, but I guess I must have. And then we kind of transitioned from having like a really horizontal structure to having like a lot more vertical lines and like more of a gravelly texture as well. Okay. I feel like I haven't watched nearly as many movies this month as in recent months past. I feel like I need to watch something this month. Maybe I'll watch The Englishman that went up a hill and came down a mountain since I keep talking about it. Like every other stream. That's probably a good idea. And then I can talk about it maybe one more time to tell you about how I watched it again. All right, I feel like we're getting to a pretty good place on the rocks in a lot of areas here. Let me see. That looks pretty good. I do want to fix this sky a little bit as well. The sky's looking a little bit rough. Not rough, but you know, well, I guess like literally it does look rough. um, I can make it look, you know, nicer, a bit more smooth and stuff than it's looking right now. So we'll do that too. Okay. All right, let's see about fixing this sky, huh? One of the things I like about the sky in the original photo is that it's kind of dark. But let's see what we can do here. Not like really dark, but it's kind of like a gray blue. So I'm gonna go with more of a circular pattern here to kind of break up the line situation that we've got going on with the color underneath. So if it shows through when it dries, it'll at least be like more varied than it is right now. Yeah, I feel like the subtitle thing is going pretty good. I haven't kept my eye on it the whole time. I've seen some channels that have some really good ones. So it could be also that they are just enunciate better than I do, and they could just be using the same tool as me. And then I've seen some that have some neat like translators in their chat, like they will translate languages back and forth if they have like a multilingual chat, which is pretty cool. I feel like it's looking better now. This particular blue I feel like is more opaque, and I think with the two layers overall it's gonna look nicer now. Still being kind of loose with the mark making because I don't want it to look really linear. But yeah, I mean, y'all let me know if you really hate the subtitle thing and I'll turn it off, but I thought it might also be easier because for the most part I've been adding my VODs to YouTube after, and I thought that that would also save me another step because I feel guilty whenever I don't put subtitles or captioning on my videos when I upload them to YouTube. And then I was like, well, if I do this, then maybe I can just do like, you know, it's a two birds, one stone situation, even though that's a terrible saying. But I don't know. Kind of remains to be seen here. And see, now I'm wanting like kind of like a gray overlay, and then these lovely markers are so opaque that it's not really giving me an overlay. It's just giving me it's going brighter. So I guess let's actually use the red, the darker red, to add some value here. To the red bits anyway. And then I will go ahead and see what colors I've got in these thinner markers that we might be able to use to enhance the overall look that we've got going here. Make it look a little bit more detailed overall. Okay. And then probably after that, we'll be good to go, I would say. Oh, interesting. It looks like I forgot to disconnect this one little rock from the rest of the rock face. So I will do that right now. All right. Okay. And then also this part is like darker. Okay, that looks good. All right. Let's see what we can do. I feel like this is going to be really dark. So let me see. It is pretty dark. But it is going to give us some really nice mark making here. So I guess I could zoom in a little bit to this part over here so you can see it better. There's like a nice shadow situation here, so I want to capitalize on that with this dark red. Okay. Let's see. This one is nice. It's really like it looks so smooth, despite the different textures and stuff. All right, so then this one, we've got a little bit of lumpiness going on here. All right, nice. And then add a little bit more value around this crack right here. So I hope that y'all can see that adding another darker value here is really making a difference in terms of the sharpness of the drawing.
ZZZZ. Too much snacking. Need nap.
Let me see about the there we go. I was getting kind of an interesting preview of the closed captions on Twitch, like on the actual creator view, so I minimized that because I wasn't sure what it was looking like to y'all. Hopefully not too weird. I hope that the replay isn't all strange. I think it was okay because there were lots of you in here earlier chatting and nobody told me that the subtitles looked real weird, so hopefully it's all good. All right. Yeah, things are coming together. And then this red on this dark purple color is also helping us add some additional value in here too to make it even darker. The purple and red are doing that work together now. So we can add a little bit more variation. So that's always good. Okay, let me see. I kind of want to see about adding like some more striations here on this side. And just kind of see what that looks like. And then, of course, we'll add some of that. It's kind of like in some of the darker places, you can see the strata a little bit better. Hope I wasn't too out of camera that whole time. But all right, we are getting closer and closer to where we want to be. Very exciting. Our friends in the chat have grown quiet, but that's okay. It's all right if y'all just want to chill. Let me know if you have any questions though, or if you want to comment later on the YouTube video or something like that. If you think of something that is totally cool. All right. This little bit is kind of interesting. The live music thing is really taking us through some different genres today. Maybe not wildly different, but we've even had some music with words and if anybody is curious about that, the website that we're always listening to music on is called Chill Hop. It's a Twitch approved live streaming music platform, so you don't get any dings for playing music on the channel. It's smart of them to develop like their own service for that, or like collaborate to have something like that for people. Because it's definitely a concern. Don't want to violate any terms of service or like get dinged on Twitch or YouTube for playing music that's copyrighted or something. All right, so we're about halfway through adding some detail to our rock friends here. I think I'll try to vary it a little bit more, some of these textures. And then this particular rock has like a lot more white on it, but it does have like this one really dark stripe. So we'll make sure the dark stripe is visible. Hmm. Just got a teeny tiny bit of red on that one, so we'll leave it alone mostly where this red is concerned anyway. All right, let me zoom it back out for y'all again. I'm gonna try to get like a little bit of a wider shot on it next because I'm about to do our tape reveal here pretty soon. Okay. All right. Very close, very close. Right now I'm kind of looking at this part and feeling like it's like a little bit flat. It's pretty smooth in the reference photo that I'm using, but let me see if I can just add like a little bit more character to it. I know we just introduced like a whole new color that we haven't used anywhere else, so that also calls for some, you know, homogenizing. We gotta add it in a few other places so that it doesn't seem like really out of place or something like that. Okay. It doesn't even have to be like a lot of places. It can just be a few here and there. Just want to make sure that it's like, you know, all around. Because if it's only concentrated in one area, basically it's gonna draw the eye specifically to that area, and that may not be what you want. If it is what you want, then that's a good way to do it. All right, so I feel a little bit better about that part. I think I am liking it overall. I think we're getting things sorted. Let's see. Let me add like a little bit more like texture and darkness down here towards the bottom. Let's see. It's always fun when the markers like want to give out. We're trying to do important stuff. I'll see how this looks as it dries, if I like it, and if I don't, I'll go back in with another lighter color to send it back a little bit more again. But since this is in the foreground, I do feel like it needs a little bit more love than it's gotten so far. But I'm excited to take the tape off and see how everything is looking. There is one part where I feel like I didn't successfully negotiate the tape boundary and we might have gotten a little bleed through, but that's okay. Doesn't have to be perfect. It'd be nice, but it doesn't have to be. I did photograph pretty much all the paintings that we've done on stream so far the other day. So I'm glad to have an archive of those now. I've been posting a lot of them to Instagram and stuff. I haven't finished posting all of them, but I'm excited to add this one to the bunch. I might make prints of like a couple of them. I do really like how the landscape of, what is it, eastern New Mexico turned out. I think that one looked nice, and it feels kind of more effortless, which is something that you want. That's the goal. Even if something wasn't effortless, if it feels effortless to other people when they look at it, that's a good thing. And I don't know if that makes sense, but basically the idea is if you're really, really struggling with something and somebody else looks at it and they can feel how hard you were struggling with it, it then kind of makes it like not pleasant to look at, Maybe there's a word for that. I don't know. Should come up with one if there's not. I can add it to the stream glossary. All right, let me see. Do I feel like I've added enough of this? It is kind of nice streaming, and I have like a couple of previews of this up. And like one of them is pretty small, so it's almost kind of like taking a step back and looking at your painting without having to actually do that. So I can kind of see how it looks from far away. Always important to take a step back when you've been working on something for a while and like take a break from looking at it, or like, and or literally take a step back and see it from a different angle or farther away, and a lot of times you can figure out stuff that might be wrong with it. or like things it could benefit from when you do that. Okay. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about how this is turning out, actually.
Z. Too many treats.
She's saying that, but it's really like a fake out because she hasn't gotten fed any treats today, so she's really trying to reverse psychology somebody into feeding her more treats. All right. I think I'm liking how this is looking, so maybe we'll go ahead and pull the tape and see. I think that'll also kind of change how I feel about it once it has like a plain border on it. All right, let me move some of my markers out of the way. Get a clear view of the tape here for you. All right, that's looking pretty good. Nice. Okay, so it's on this top part that I think I might have gone under the tape, so we'll find out right now. Let me turn this. Actually, start on this side. Oh, actually, it turned out fine. That's shocking. I really thought up on this corner here that it like went under the tape really bad. Okay. Let's see. Now we'll do what's under here. Okay, this is on top, so we'll do the right side first. Oh, heck yeah. Man, that looks good. If I do say so myself. I like, you know, the nice crispy borders. Oh, we got a fully crispy drawing today. Pretty good. Pretty clean. All right. Well, I think that that'll probably do it for today. Let me hold it up a little bit closer to the camera so you can see some of the textures better first before we go. So there it is. I hope that y'all enjoyed today's stream. I'm going to see if we have anybody that we might want to raid real quick, or I'm also open to suggestions. Let's see. How about well, there's a pretty interesting looking airbrushing stream going on, so let's go ahead and try to raid into that one and see what happens. All right, well, I appreciate everybody coming to hang out today. It was good talking to you, and I hope that you enjoyed watching the stream and watching this painting come to life. So I'll see you again soon in the near future here in the next couple days. All right, bye everybody. See you later.